of discipline I'm displaying is um, authoritative parenting. My example will be your 8-year-old steals markers from their classroom. So if I was a parent and I got an email from the teacher or from the school saying that my 8-year-old stole markers from the classroom, I would talk to my child and explain that it's not okay and why it's not okay, and that they are grounded for 2 weeks and must return the markers to the correct owner. So this type of parenting and discipline is really effective because you're explaining to them why it's wrong, and you're giving them a correct amount of, I guess, discipline and time to truly understand what they did and how it was wrong. And you're also giving them the support to go back to school and to apologize and to give the person back what they want. I think that this is really effective. This is the way that my parents kind of parented me. If I did something wrong, they explained to me why it was wrong and what I did exactly that was wrong, and then I got a certain amount of punishment time for what I had done. Next one is authoritarian authoritarian parenting and discipline. So this type of discipline is more cruel, I guess. So like examples could be making every decision for your family without giving your children input. So putting your child in timeout but not telling them why they're in timeout, or grounding your child but not telling them why they're being grounded, or disciplining them in a way that's physical but not truly explaining why you're being physical, just being angry, and disciplining that way, which is truly not really effective and just creates a lot of sadness and trauma and hatred for the child. So yeah, authoritarian parenting is more physical and a lot more harsh, I guess. So like if your kid, let's say your kid cheated on a test, instead of telling them that that's wrong, then a parent who uses this discipline would just act physically towards the child and take their anger out about that on the child. And usually in those situations when it's physical harm and physical discipline to the child, there's a lot more anger that's coming behind that slap that doesn't have anything to do with the bad grade. Like the cheating on the test. You cheat on the test, and then let's say your dad slaps you or something like that, like spanks you. A lot of reason for them using physical and harsher discipline, it comes from fear within that their child is not going to do well in school, that won't make it past high school, because maybe they dropped out of high school, maybe they did the same thing and their life just didn't end up good. So but that's something that the child won't get because the parent is not explaining that to them. So like I said, it causes a lot of hatred towards the parent and a lot of trauma for the child that they will have to learn to work through later in life. This last one is permissive parenting. So permissive parenting can kind of be described as letting your kid get away with anything. An example could be your child hits someone on the playground. Instead of you disciplining them, it's kind of like you're just allowing them to get away with whatever they want. So instead of disciplining them, you don't really do anything. You're not really setting any type of guidelines or rules. Another example could be a household with no rules. Like the parents don't have a structured or specific time for homework, for friends, for games, for TV / entertainment or screen time. So the child just kind of does what they want. And I mean, this type of parenting may work for some people, but it is not the most effective, because when your child goes out into the world, they're gonna have like a really harsh culture shock that that's really not how it works, and that things, there's consequences for your actions. And also another thing is, it's not very effective for the child, because children strive, I guess. They thrive in more structured environments. Children need structure. That's why in daycare centers and preschools, there's structured areas and times for activities. There's structured, like, it's just, there's specific time for everything, so the child knows, hey, I need to finish reading these 2 pages in 20 minutes. And if I don't, then I'm going to be behind. It kind of teaches them cause and effect. So permissive parenting really doesn't teach cause and effect. It just teaches, oh, I can get away with everything because that's what my parents allow. And that's just really not how the world works. I have friends that have been parented this way, and they don't really have any like a reality of how things really are. They don't have much respect or discipline, and so they act in ways that are just not good, I guess, because they know that there will be no consequences when they get home. But the reality of the world is that there are consequences. Your actions do have consequences, and structure is extremely important to understand those consequences. So permissive parenting is not too great. Another example upon further research is that bribery is usually involved, and the word no is very rarely used. So it's like, if you do this, I'll give you this. If you say that, then you can do this. It's not really like, no, this is something that you need to do, or this is something that I'm asking you to do, like dishes, or your homework. In my house, when, like, this can be, we kind of use this sometimes, but not really. It's more of, in my head, it's more of helping out my parent and then being rewarded, I guess, with something small. Like, for example, this week, I told my dad I would keep the dishes out of the sink the entire week, load up the dishwasher, unload it, everything, wash the dishes the entire week, and keep the sink empty, in exchange for a coffee Friday morning. So bribery is used for permissive parenting. Again, not very effective, because that's not really how it works, I guess. Bribery, when you're in an adult situation, is kind of like, I think it's like crossing the line on illegal. It's also just ethically not great. But then also puts into your child's mind that when they do something, they will get rewarded. So when they do something and don't get rewarded, they're like, what the heck? And it's just extremely hard for them to figure out why they're not being rewarded for something really simple. Like, and it really just does not help them in their adult life, and it just doesn't help in further relationships and further situations that they're going to be in.